Hello. As you'll see, I'm about halfway through cutting the grass out at the back of the manse. It's been badly needing cut, but I've been having some lawnmower trouble recently, so I haven't been able to do it. And the grass is, well, it's done what grass does at this time of year. It's just got longer and longer and longer. You know, I love the summer, and it's been great this week to have had so much sunshine, but in the summer months, well, the more growth there is in the garden, the more that needs taken care of. And sorry, but I'm no gardener. Once the grass is cut, I really need to take care of the weeds next. But the trouble is, I don't always know what's a weed and what's not a weed. I read somewhere that the way to know if you're removing a weed and not a valuable plant is to pull on it. And if it's hard to shift, it's a weed, but if it pulls out of the ground easily, it's a plant. I don't think I'm going to take up that advice, because once you've pulled it out of the ground, well, it's too late, is it not? And then there's the old adage that all a weed is a plant that's growing where you don't want it to grow. Well, to be honest, that doesn't help me an awful lot either. Maybe I'll just let the plants and the weeds grow together. You've probably heard the parable of the weeds before, but the gist of it is that there was a farmer who planted wheat, and someone came along and planted weeds in amongst them. The farmhands said to the farmer, "Do you want us to pull them up?" And the farmer said, "No, because as you gather the weeds, you might pull up some of the wheat along with them. Let the wheat and the weeds both grow together until harvest. Then I'll tell the harvest workers to pull up the weeds first, tie them in bundles and burn them, and then to gather in the wheat and put it in the barn." And I think what the parable of the weeds is telling us possibly is that there are good things and bad things in the world, things we want and things we don't want. They're the good plants and the bad weeds. And sometimes I think we find ourselves asking why God doesn't just sort it all out, doesn't just stop all the bad from happening. But to do that, I suppose he'd maybe risk harming all the good that's going on. Maybe. But a time will come when he does sort it all out. But that time, that harvest time, well, it's not here just yet. So what do you reckon? Will I tackle the weeds or not? I'm going to have to think about it. But first though, I think I'd better finish cutting the grass.